Now available on Netflix is a documentary. Netflix is excelling at documentaries in recent years called Iron Fists and Kung Fu Kicks from within the last year. It's a documentary taking a look at the phenomena of martial arts films, mostly from a U.S. perspective. It's co-written by Grady Hendrix, who some of you may know as the author of numerous books, including Satanic Panic and Horror Store and My Best Friend's Exorcism, I believe it was, Friend of Friends, and Chris Pajali, who some of you may know as the Temple of Schlock webmaster and author and host of many cool screenings, Temple of Schlock screenings at the Alamo Drafthouse Yonkers, and a host of other people who were involved, either fans of martial arts films or involved with the production of martial arts films, like the producer of a lot of Golden Harvest films and Brian Trenchard Smith, who made Man from Hong Kong. And then you have people like Fab Five Freddy and people who were involved in the music industry and multiple industries, all sort of telling their own personal history and the history of martial arts films and how they influenced, again, focusing mostly on American society. So this documentary, it's about an hour and a half, maybe 100 minutes. It's not terribly long. It moves like lightning. It moves like Kung Fu Kicks. And it is clip heavy, which is a really cool thing. A lot of times you'll see these documentaries and they can't get the rights to use certain film clips or music or whatever, and you either get little bits of trailers or you get a lot of stills or you get the same footage over and over again. And that's not the case here. When they're talking about a Shaw Brothers movie, you see a clip from that movie, Enter the Dragon, the Golden Harvest films, you name it. So it's a good, pretty chronological essaying of the phenomenon from the early Shaw Brothers films through the Golden Harvest films, the rise of Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and onward the Bruceploitation films, the knockoffs, how it worked its way into television in America and our culture as a whole, how it influenced everything from hip hop to breakdancing, and how it has moved up to the modern day. This takes us up pretty much to where we are now. You have people like Scott Adkins and various people who are doing straight-to-video martial arts and people who are doing straight-to-YouTube martial arts and kung fu and action videos for the web. I found this to be a total blast. If you're a scholar or an expert on these films, it may not be any new ground covered. They don't interview some of the biggest players, like we don't see interview footage with Jackie Chan or anybody, but you do see some archival footage of some people like, you do see Ron Van Cleef, but you don't see some of the major players, but you do see a little of them in archival interviews. The classic black and white Canadian TV or Hong Kong TV interview with Bruce Lee is represented here, which is a fascinating watch if you can find that. I think it's on YouTube in its entirety. It's just Bruce Lee talking to this interviewer and talking about his philosophy and where he's hoping to go with his career and where he's been. The clips were excellent. It made me want to sit and watch Kung Fu movies for hours on end, which I probably will and do. And it's a good film to watch and you're writing a checklist the whole time. There's some fun behind the scenes stories about certain films, insight into how certain things came to be if you're a fan of these movies. And if you don't know these movies, this is a great starting point to be introduced to some of the major players and studios and the more important titles in the genre. So short review, I thought this was a heck of a lot of fun. I would watch it again. I want to watch these movies again. Iron Fists and Kung Fu Kicks on Netflix.